All right, let's move on. We're going to talk next about Fortnite. And based upon what's going on right now around the world, what may just very well be the future of live entertainment. So Fortnite, if you remember, has done a concert before. And it decided to do another one. The first one was a smashing success. The second one happened a couple days ago with Travis Scott. And I will fully admit, I have no idea who Travis Scott is. When I saw the trailer, I thought it was like, isn't there a motocross guy that plays drums named Travis Scott? That's who I thought it was. As it turns out, it's not. It's a hip hop artist. And he did a live concert inside Fortnite that had 27.7 million viewers. That is
a lot.
Mind-boggling. That would make it the second most watched thing on television any year you want to give me, with number one being the Super Bowl. So, Matt, holy crap.
Being the Super Bowl by a very comfortable margin, to be fair.
Right, but still, it also beats pretty much anything else by a comfortable margin. So it's like everybody else, and then there's Fortnite concerts and the Super Bowl. Matt, do you, especially with the way things are right now, where we're not allowed to gather together, could this be becoming the new concert, the new festival, the new thing? Could we end up paying to go to these things?
I mean, maybe. I would hope they start lasting more than 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah, that's the other thing. So it only lasted 10 minutes, which is not really a concert at all.
The thing I'm doubly impressed by is that the game handled it. Like, that many people were signed on to do this one thing, and it all worked. So I guess well done, Epic, for building something that can handle that kind of a load.
Well, so the 27 million wasn't all from one viewing. They had a couple viewings, and that was the aggregate number of people. But they still had over, I think I saw 13 million at least in one broadcast.
Yeah, so, it was something like 10 to 13 million in the initial round.
Which is still really impressive. Holy crap, man.
There's a lot of different instances for that, but it was all happening at once. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so
I didn't see it, so I don't really get it. Like
I don't get it either.
Like, I'm still kind of in the who cares realm for that, but like if that's what people want, then like, hey, go for it. You know, if it works, go for it. Like that's kind of how I feel about the whole Fortnite phenomenon to begin with. Is like, okay, sure, like do it. Like if that's the thing people want, meet the need.
But do you think people will ever pay for things like this?
Maybe. Like I don't know. Like it depends how much you charge, I guess. It kind of ties in with what I was talking about, like doing like an online version of streaming like Comic-Con panels or something. Mm-hmm. Like I do think people will pay for that. Like they're maybe not going to pay like Ticketmaster prices for it, but like once you prove yourself and these become like cultural events like this, like a zeitgeist thing, you can kind of leverage the FOMO to say, hey, give us $5 to see this thing.
I think it could work. However, it has to be live. It can't be this pre-produced, pre-canned thing that people just show up to and consume. People will have to know that the actual artists are there and are involved in it in some way. I mean, otherwise, you're basically asking people to watch music, to pay to watch music videos.
Right.
Which we kind of do if we have cable and we have MTV.
Technically, it's a more direct way of doing that.
Right. But that's what you're asking, unless it is live. And to the best of my knowledge, that is not what's happening in Fortnite. These are pre-produced events that happen in front of people and they can view them, but there's no interaction with the artist other than maybe they're in chat or they're firing off emojis and crap like that. Mm-hmm. It's not like the band is in a mocap suit on a soundstage somewhere or in front of a green screen somewhere, and they're live inside the game. And to me...
Although I bet a lot of people do think that it is.
They might, yeah, because some people just don't understand how things work. So I think you're right. You probably will get some people who are like, I don't care. I just want to hang out with my bros from Fortnite while something crazy is happening. You're going to get that. But I think for it to be commercially viable for people like me, say one of my favorite bands is doing a concert in Fortnite. I'm not going to go to that if it's just like these avatars of my favorite band on a stage while they move around and their music plays. Like, that's not going to get me to pay money.
I mean, maybe if it was craft work.
Maybe. Because they would do something.
That's all they do anyway.
Because that's all they do anyway. And they would do something really freaking cool with it, too. It wouldn't just be something basic like that. So I hear you. But I think that's the step that needs to be taken before this can be a revenue model for Fortnite. Because they're looking at it. And I guarantee you, all these festival promoters who throw these big festivals like Bonnaroo or EDC, I guarantee you they have been reaching out to Epic asking them how they're doing this kind of stuff because they're done. Like, all my friends right now who are DJs, producers, agents, they're all screwed. They are making no money and won't for the foreseeable future. So they're all scrambling, trying to figure out ways. Like, one of my buddies who is a gigantic agent for literally hundreds of the world's biggest DJs, he was telling me that they've been talking about like doing social distancing at like festivals and raves. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture that.
That's how desperate they are. And what the idea was that they would chalk boxes on the ground. So if it's an outdoor festival, just like you make the lines on a football field or a soccer pitch, they would go in the grass and they would create zones, and it would be one person to his own where they had to dance and hang out.
No pit.
Yeah. Oh, well, those things, there aren't pits. There aren't even bands that would create a pit because he works with electronic music. But yeah, I went to see the Misfits in a pit with like literally 8,000 people. If there was even one person with coronavirus in that crowd, everyone would have got it because everyone's sweat and spit and stuff are flying everywhere. Like, yeah, like things like that are just not going to happen. So this industry is desperate to try to find ways to solve it. And I guarantee they're looking at Fortnite and they're like, there it is. There it is.
Got,
that's something we can do.
Picture in my head of like some people trying to do that bounce the ball thing around in the crowd thing, but it lands between squares. But no one can go out and get it.
That's freaking hilarious. Now, I would say this. For certain genres, it works better than others. So electronic music, hip hop, it works better because with electronic music, all a DJ really does is just stand there and pump his fist anyway. If you could figure out a way where the DJ was actually playing a live set and you still had those canned animations, I don't think people would care. Hip hop, as long as the dude's like walking around and like flexing his arms and crap, like I don't think they would care as much. But if you're talking about bands that have like guitar players and bass players and a drummer and a singer, that's where I think it's not going to be successful. But this is a huge opportunity and it came at the right time. Now, again, they did do one of these before that was big, but not as big as this one. And so it wasn't the first time, but I think this shows that it was more than just a really cool gimmick when it happened the first time. This is something that can be sustainable, something that eventually, if you're smart, you can figure out a way to monetize it. And also, if you're Epic, if you can figure out a way to license that tech and give it to all these promoters that are throwing the big festivals and the raves and license it to them for big chunks of money, it could become a whole new revenue stream for Epic. So it's so far
Epic could just become the new ticket master.
Seriously. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like they could become like the gatekeeper for virtual events. Now, if other companies are smart, they're out there scrambling right now trying to figure out how they're doing this and want to provide a better B2B experience than Epic, then maybe you could kind of shoehorn your way into that industry. But I mean, it is kind of the future. And sadly, right now, the future's here because we all can't leave and we're stuck in our apartments and our houses right now. If I were Epic, I would really start trying to figure out a way to have real concerts in Fortnite that you can charge for, even if you just have to charge like V-Bucks to get in, like the in-game currency. To start, maybe that's what you do is you just charge V-Bucks, which do have real monetary value.
Or do a thing. I would love to see them get like real weird with it, like do like a thing where you have to like play in an event to earn a ticket.
Oh, like that's a good idea too.
Yeah, like
giving like
or maybe like
tickets.
I guess for like a special concert where like only people who win a game in the week leading up get to go.
Yeah. Maybe you get like you are there for the first 3 songs, and then the whole show opens up for everybody else.
Or something like winners of the event, winners of a game the day before get a ticket if you come in first during a game.
Yeah,
but everyone else needs to pay like $3.
Yep. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with it, and I think that's why we're talking about this, because
make it a desirable thing. That's all it needs to be.
That's what it needs to be. I mean, it's the ball's on the tee right now, and it's going to be interesting to see if Epic is the game to smash it to the player to smash it to the green, or if it's someone else, but someone's going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Epic has been for a while now, so it wouldn't surprise. I mean, they have the infrastructure, they have the audience, they have everything in their court for that. So I would imagine, and they've got really smart people, and some of whom we know personally, who are, probably the people in charge of planning some of this. They've already planned some of the best E3 parties ever.
Yep. That's for sure.
So, if they get this off the ground, I can't imagine what the next one's going to look like, if there is a next one.
Yeah.
It's an interest. I mean, I don't have any interest in what the concert they just did, but like, it was an interesting event. It was surprising to me that it was so big, and I looked at it, a brief clip of it, and I'm just like, yeah, I get it. I don't get it in terms of why 27 million. Yeah, I would never have called early on. It's like, oh, how many people are going to watch? Oh, I think 27 million people are going to watch this. I wouldn't have done that. But you watch it and you're like, yeah, okay. I
get it. Yeah, I can understand why. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of the top 40 stars now will work great in that format.
Yeah.
Because they are all hip hop or electronic, where they just sing along. There's not a lot of instrumentation.
It's just a performance from a person. Like, that's all you need. It's not like getting Aerosmith to play would be a different beast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you probably wouldn't get 27 million people. But I wonder also how much of it is just the kind of the unique aspect of it, where a lot of people came in. It's like, what the hell is this? I want to see what this is.
What happens when the shine comes off? Yeah. That's a good question.
The other thing becomes because I've talked about in the past, how the internet and the proliferation of music through MP3 and then through music services has kind of made it so nobody, A, you can listen to anything at any time. B, you're never going to have another Thriller moment where everyone buys the same album, because the pop monoculture that's what it feeds you and says, this is what everyone's listening to, this is what's on the radio, this is what's on MTV, and you need to buy it and listen to it too, because that's what everyone's doing. And I was like, well, that's never going to happen again, because there's never going to be sort of a concentration of any kind of pop culture zeitgeist that matches up to that. But if you get 27 million people watching this thing,
all bets are off.
That's that again. Remember, platinum albums, 5 million copies? That's not that many. If you kind of recreated that phenomenon, if you play your cards right on that, and whether you think that's a good thing or not, that's a matter of opinion. But Epic should not underestimate the power of what they've just created.
The other thing too is that artists are looking for stuff like this, because they don't make money off their music anymore. Unless you're
money off the concerts that aren't happening.
Performing live. That's where they make all their money. And merch. They make a ton of money on the merch that they sell at their concerts, because they're crazy overpriced or whatever. And so they're looking for ways to replace that revenue now. And this is it. This is a place you could even sell, and this is crazy, but you could set up a merch stand in the concert where you walk up and you pay V-Bucks to get shirts for your avatar. The possibilities are endless, man. It's going to take smart programmers to figure it out, but Epic's got them. So this could become huge. And if this really keeps dragging on, if you're Epic, you want to start getting these things out ASAP. I'm hoping they have the next one planned already. They should.
I'm sure they do.
Because it shouldn't be hard to find people who are willing to do it. And they shouldn't be dragging their feet to do it, because it could literally, as if they need more money, but it could literally open up an entirely brand new revenue stream for Epic that they can then parlay into building better and more games for us, for the people who want to play them. So it could be a win-win for a lot of industries that are struggling right now. I hope Epic, and I'm guessing they are, I hope Epic is on this and it's working it. It was a long time in between the two concerts. I'll say that. I mean, it's been months and months since the last one. So it took them a long time to get that second one going. Hopefully that doesn't carry through for the third. But I think we all agree. Mitch, are you cool with this? How do you feel about seeing virtual concerts as a millennial?
I know who Travis Scott was. I guess,
Yeah, I kind of figured you would. Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of his music. I think the one bad thing that came out of this was people that didn't want to go to the concert were forced to be in it because there was no option to say, I just want to play Fortnite. There was going to Fortnite. I was going to mention earlier that maybe.
I was going to mention earlier, maybe they should work it in a way so that even if you just want to play the game, like you can see the concert like off in the background on the map, and you can maybe hear like the beat like really low or whatever, so you know what's going on, but you can still play the game.
And I'm not a fan of the concert idea of doing it live, to be honest. Like I think the avenue they may have is premiering new music. That could be a
new song
avenue.
Or something.
Exactly, because then you're not having to try to figure out how to do it live, because there are plenty of ways that artists are doing stuff live. I mean, we still have late night shows on network television that they're just performing from home. They're not getting that same revenue like concerts are, but they are still getting out there in that aspect. And so I think maybe premiering a new song and kind of pairing it up with graphical type things, or if a new album comes out and they do an album concert, like that's something I could see it more of than being a live concert experience. I don't see it, but that's just me.
You don't see what? The interest or it being possible?
Kind of a little bit of both. I don't see how you would make it work being live, especially in a game world. It's very, it is not connected. I don't see the connection between doing something live and then having it in a game. You rather have it pre-recorded if you're going to do something in a game. So that's
why? Why is it?
Because it's the gaming world. So like you're in a gaming world, you're not connected to a form of reality. And so when you throw that in, it's a little disjointing in my brain, at least.
Well, I think you're taking a different angle with it. You're looking at it from the perspective of the gamer. I'm looking at it from the perspective of someone who wants to see a concert. And, the crossover there, who knows how much there is. But most people who enjoy going to concerts are not going to go to a concert that's pre-recorded. They like going to concerts because they want to see the artist play the songs live. Because when you hear it live, like for me, when I go to a concert, the worst thing that could happen is I walk out and I say, it sounded just like the CD. That's not what I go to concerts for. I don't go to concert to listen to the CD with a bunch of other people. I go to the concert to hear how they play the songs live and how the guitar player plays a little fill during the bridge, or how they play the guitar solo live versus how it sounds in the recording. The pedals that they use for their guitars when they play live versus when they recorded it and they had a ton of equipment. All that stuff is what makes me go to concerts, in addition to the social aspect of it and all the other stuff that you also get with the virtual concert.
And I get that. I think it's just, I think there are better avenues besides Fortnite to do something like that, to create a true concert experience for you. I don't think Fortnite is the answer to that.
So you think putting the band in a garage and just streaming it with cameras is better?
Yeah. And using different platforms to show that off so you connect with a real community. Because I mean, again, and like you said,
that's the thing.
It already limits you of what you can do in regards to artists, because you have to find someone that's famous.
About doing it in a game, though, is that watching a stream of the real band in a garage or whatever playing, you can chat. That's it. You're not there physically, and you're not there with other people who are there physically, virtually physically, but still they have an avatar there of their body that they can emote with, they can talk with, they can do dances. Because again, that's the other part of going to concerts for me. It's seeing the different versions of the songs being played, but it's also being there with the fans of that band, because I'm a fan of that band and I like talking to fans who are also fans of that band, because they've got bootleg copies of live concerts. They've got MP3s of the demo version of the album that they can send to me and we can share, and I can give them my bootlegs that I have, and we can stand there and talk. But
Fortnite doesn't give you that. Fortnite doesn't give you that interaction. Now, if they offer something
avatar,
that
you can dance and you can chat.
But not to that, like people don't do that in Fortnite though. People run around and jump around, and also during the concert, You're flying around. How are you going to find somebody's profile? The format they have it right now, it just wouldn't work in my mind.
No, you're right. The way they did the Travis Scott thing would not work. You're right. But that doesn't mean that they can't adjust it to make it work.
And I don't disagree. I'm just saying in the current format they have, I don't see it working. But something like putting it in VR would be something that for a concert would be more interesting for me. Like I would totally be way more interested if this was a VR experience.
But that'll never happen because everyone has to have a VR helmet.
True.
I mean, it may happen 100 years from now, but it's not in the immediate future anyway. But you're right. There's different ways that you can approach it. And again, I think that's why this is a big opportunity because it's different. You want one thing. I want one thing. But the way this is set up, they could satisfy us both, you know? Sure, you don't want to be in a live concert in a virtual world. You're cool with it being pre-recorded. Maybe because of the genres that you like or the artists that you like, it works for them. But there are other people who like guitar bands and like full bands and like to go out to concerts that are going to want to hear those songs played live. And I think that they can do, with this tool, they can do both and they can make it work for both audiences. So it'll be interesting to see where they take it. I think they will take it somewhere. They'd be idiots not to, and they're not idiots. So I think we're going to see a lot more of this. I think they're going to get better. I think they're going to become more varied over time, and they'll eventually appeal to a lot more people as they do that. So big opportunity for Epic here. It's more than that at this point. It's not an opportunity. It's real. It's something they just need to figure out how they make money off of it. So, yeah.